I think there's a lot of time lost in scheduling a meeting and actually explaining something that it could very easily be summarized by Gen AI, and quick pointers could be sent out to everyone before the meeting. And instead of having two 1-hour meetings, you could actually have a solid half an hour meeting where everyone is in check, right?
How businesses can use Gen AI and look out for an ROI from there?
Everyone knows that this is like the hottest topic in a couple of decades that's come up, right? And it's where hype has reached the tech side, and everybody can have a piece of it today by just going on to chat.openai and just typing something just like you would, search on any other website, right? So it's so very close to the common person, and that really pushes even businesses to think that how are we going to leverage this, and how can this help us optimize and improve ourselves before the competition does it, and B, before I lose my employees who want to go for a role that is more sparkly and more AI and tech driven, right? So there are many aspects to look at this, but today I would still say that we are in this starting phase of AI becoming slowly, it's not slowly improving, but the performance is improving gradually and people are considering adoption. But businesses should look at a couple of things. One is the right use case for it, of course. That goes without saying that use case is important. But the right use case, so a lot of people actually ask me that, when you talk to businesses and then you work with them, how do you make sure the costs are down for Gen AI today? Right? So today, other than regular server setup and all of your cloud compute costs, there is AI processing cost as well, right? And that's tokenized. So that's something that, like, your scaling architecture scales with your content as well, and it necessarily may not be scaling the same way as your server processing may scale, right? There is possibility for it to scale a lot more also. So today, businesses should, in my opinion, see where they can use it to minimize human intervention for their workforce.
Or make it more productive, maybe. So instead
so productivity.
It's not only that humans should be let out. So it's something like how a new invention can be brought in. Let's say when the era of mobile apps came in, so people were like, okay, now I don't have to carry a big laptop, right? I can do all the work in the small mobile. I can be on the go. I can do more work and become more productive. So similarly, Gen AI should come in to increase the productivity so that more work can be done and automations can be done.
Today, that's the sweet spot where we can businesses should actually be using AI for. So, for example, we may not notice it, but different people throughout their 8 or 9 or 5 work day, right? There are certain tasks that actually need not take time, but depending on person to person, it may take time, like writing up an email or analyzing a report or generating PPTs, stuff like that, right? I'm not saying that just because you use Gen AI doesn't mean you don't need to know how to do it, right? If you don't know how to do it, you won't be able to prompt Gen AI the right way to do it also, right? But using these tools can save you a lot more time in your workday where you can actually focus on other things. It would greatly improve your work-life balance, right? That's something that everyone knows is
time.
People struggle with, right? Yeah. There are cases where you can save up to an hour a day, right? If you use it properly. Generating emails is the most common example. I think most of our common email providers, like if you're on G Suite or 365, they've already integrated, where, summarize this into an email, or, create a quick summary of this so I can send it out to a group or something like that, right?
It's also about consuming content, right? Sometimes, you get a huge RFP or you get a huge document that you need to understand, and it is like written in some kind of a language. I'm not saying a different language, but a
little cryptic. It's very legalese. I would say it's legalese, right?
Yeah.
So actually, that's a very good point, because now, especially in bigger companies, right, where there's a lot of stakeholders and a lot of dotted line reporting and all of that, right? So you need to keep multiple people informed, right?
Right.
And what happens is, one team gets it, somebody or a group of people in the team have the responsibility to figure it out and push the project or something forward. They read it, analyze it, then they have to go and they have to basically vouch for it or talk about it to multiple different teams. That's another meeting again. Some people not available, right? All of that, right? So I think there's a lot of time lost in scheduling a meeting and actually explaining something that it could very easily be summarized by Gen AI, and quick pointers could be sent out to everyone before the meeting. And instead of having 2 1-hour meetings, you could actually have a solid half an hour meeting where everyone is in check, right? And you can use it to find out things that you have not discussed with other people before you go into the meeting. For example, somebody new to the organization may not know that, okay, this is the process I need to follow. But if the organization has incorporated an assistant to all of their documents, all of their SOPs, and all of their operating docs, that could really help someone like a new joiner, someone who's working fresh at a place, to speed up and start contributing much faster, right? So I think that these use cases are the today use cases, and businesses should be focusing on this period. Like I don't think there's any question on whether they should focus on this or not. So later on, there are other customer facing use cases which really start becoming a bit more complicated. That's where you have to start figuring out whether you can extract the right ROI. For example, so today chatbots are super common right now, right? I think since 2015 till now, it's about 9 years now.
Yeah.
So over the last 9 years, now it's almost like I need to have one. Where is your? It's like what a website was 20
that
years
I'm talking to a bot, right? I mean, people have accepted that I'm talking to a bot. It's not that I need to speak to a human. It's emotionless. Yes, we understand that. But most of the times, we understand that if it is giving and serving my purpose, it is better and faster for me to get desired results. People are okay with that.
Yeah, and I think today, since people are okay with that, businesses also, of course, are okay with that, because managing a whole customer service end to end, which is people heavy rather than tech heavy, is always a challenge, right? Yeah.